Before you scroll, pause. Welcome to Reading the Bible Daily with our King's Invitation. In Genesis chapter 27, we step into a dim tent, a space filled with the scent of aged leather and the quiet weight of coming change. Here we find Isaac, a patriarch whose eyes have grown dark with age, his vision nearly gone, his life is drawing to a close, and a sense of urgency guides him. He calls for his firstborn, Esau, the rugged hunter, the son of his heart. Isaac's request is simple. Go out to the open country and hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die. This was to be the sacred moment, the passing of the patriarchal blessing from father to firstborn, a tradition as old as their lineage. It was a blessing of prosperity, of leadership, of divine favor, and Isaac intended it for Esau. But in the shadows of the tent, another heart was listening. Rebekah, Isaac's wife, overheard his words. Her mind raced, not to the traditions of men, but to a promise from God himself. Years earlier, when the twin boys struggled within her womb, she had sought the Lord, and his word to her was clear and life-altering. 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. 1 people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. Rebekah carried this divine prophecy in her heart. Now, seeing Isaac poised to bless the older, Esau, she was gripped by a powerful fear, the fear that God's plan might be thwarted by human intention. This fear spurred her to action, leading her down a path of manipulation and haste. She approached her younger son Jacob, the quiet one, the dweller among tents. "Listen to me," she urged, her voice a determined whisper. "Do just as I tell you." Her plan was both cunning and risky. She would prepare a savory meal from 2 young goats, a dish so delicious it would mimic the wild game Esau was hunting. Then she would dress Jacob in Esau's best clothes and cover his smooth hands and neck with the goatskins. The goal was to deceive Isaac's remaining senses, his smell, his taste. Jacob hesitated, acutely aware of the danger. "My brother Esau is a hairy man," he protested, "and I'm a man with smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be a trickster and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." But Rebekah's resolve was unshakable. "My son," she declared, "let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say." Driven by his mother's fierce conviction and perhaps his own quiet ambition, Jacob complied. He brought the goats, and Rebekah cooked. He put on the disguise, a costume of deception woven from fear and a skewed sense of faith. He then walked into his father's presence, carrying the fragrant dish, his hands covered in fur, his heart likely pounding in his chest. "My father," he said, his voice a careful imitation. Isaac, confused, replied, "Who is it, my son?" Jacob's lie came swiftly. "I am Esau, your firstborn." The old man was still suspicious. "Come near so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not." Jacob moved closer. Isaac ran his frail hands over the goatskins on Jacob's arms and neck. The touch felt like Esau. He sniffed the clothes, which carried the familiar earthy scent of the outdoors. The smell was Esau's, though the voice sounded like Jacob's. The physical evidence swayed him. Convinced, or perhaps choosing to be convinced, Isaac ate the meal. Then he drew his disguised son near and bestowed the blessing, a torrent of poetic and powerful words. "May God give you of heaven's dew and of earth, richness, an abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you and peoples bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed." The sacred words had been spoken. The blessing was transferred. Just moments after Jacob slipped away from the tent, the heavy footsteps of his brother sounded outside. Esau returned from his hunt, his heart full of anticipation. He prepared the savory stew his father loved and carried it to him, his voice booming with affection. "My father, sit up and eat some of my game so you may give me your blessing." Isaac trembled violently. The full weight of the deception crashed down upon him. "Who are you?" he cried out. "I am your son," Esau replied. "Your firstborn, Esau." The realization struck them both like a bolt of lightning. "Who was it then?" Isaac stammered. that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I have blessed him. Indeed, he will be blessed." At these words, a loud and bitter cry tore through the tent, a sound of profound heartbreak and shattered hope. "Bless me too, my father." Esau wept, pleaded, his anguish palpable, but the blessing once given could not be recalled. The inheritance he had so casually sold for a bowl of stew years before was now irrevocably lost through a calculated act of deceit. His cry is a haunting echo of regret, a testament to the devastating consequences of a family entangled in favoritism, fear, and human scheming. The pain in that tent was real and deep, a wound that would fester for years to come. In this moment of human failure, of lies and heartbreak, it would be easy to see only the mess, the brokenness, the sin. It is a portrait of a deeply flawed family. Rebekah acted out of fear, not faith. Jacob was a willing participant in a lie. Isaac was blinded by his own favoritism. Esau was consumed by his worldly appetites. Yet, through this tangled web of human error, a divine purpose was still unfolding. This story is a powerful illustration of God's sovereignty. The Apostle Paul, reflecting on this very event, wrote in Romans 9:16, "So then, it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that sheweth mercy." It does not depend on human will or human effort, but on the mercy of God. God's promise to Rebekah that the older would serve the younger was not fulfilled because of their deception. But in spite of it, his purpose is not fragile, cannot be derailed by our mistakes or our best-laid plans. God's mercy moves through the chaos, weaving his sovereign will even through the threads of our failures. Jacob's deception was not an act God applauded, but it became a pivotal chapter in his life's journey. The blessing he stole through deceit set him on a path of exile, fear, and hardship. He fled from his brother's wrath and spent 2 decades in a foreign land, where he himself would be deceived by his uncle, Laban. He learned firsthand the pain that trickery can cause. This journey of struggle was not a punishment without purpose, it was a crucible. It was in the wrestling, both literally and figuratively, that Jacob was transformed. The same God who allowed this painful deception would later meet Jacob by the river Jabbok, wrestle with him until daybreak, and change his name from Jacob, the deceiver, to Israel. He who struggles with God, the man who began his story by grasping and manipulating, would become a man marked by a limp, a physical reminder of his dependence on God's grace. His story shows us that our greatest failures can become the very ground where God does his deepest work. God can take the choices we regret most, the moments we wish we could undo, and redeem them for his glory. He doesn't erase our past, but he can infuse it with purpose. His mercy is not just for our moments of triumph, but it shines brightest in our moments of failure, writing a story of redemption over our narrative of regret. So if you have ever failed, if you carry the weight of choices you wish you could change, remember Jacob. Remember that God's plan is not dependent on your perfection, but on his mercy. He can redeem even the most broken chapters and use them to shape you into the person he created you to be. His grace is sufficient, his purpose stands firm, and his mercy can write a beautiful story of transformation into every part of your life. Thank you for spending this moment with our King's Invitation. If this message blessed you, subscribe and join this journey of reading the Bible daily with OKI.